Hey, JK here. I want to thank you for sharing part of your day with me. Ladies and gentlemen, week 13 was very good to us, but I also learned lessons that I can't have anything nice, and I shouldn't try to be cute, and I should just let my studs start and not try to play silly games, because just like in real life, I'm a play silly games, win silly prizes person. Now I won a silly prize this week. But before I get to that, let's go ahead and talk about what went well for us. We're going to start with the ESPN leagues. We're going to start with the Peach Creek Purgatory. Through Wednesday, it was not looking good. Built myself another pretty deep deficit. I had two starters who got me negative points. And I'm thinking, oh gosh, really? I'm going to lose again? Well, thankfully, I had some big time stars come up absolutely huge for me. And that allowed me to get in the win column. And we were able to take the victory 1,040 to 973. My top score was Eugenio Suarez, Big Papi Part 2. That's why I'm going to refer to him as Big Papi Part 2, or the reincarnation of Big Papi. He is great. That's my boy. He might not be able to hit the broadside of a barn, but that 25% or less that he actually does hit the ball, he goes a long ways. Again, he got me 80 points. Then Yandy Diaz got me 78 points, finally finding his life. And then I had two guys getting me 76 points. Riley Green, who had a huge week. Very happy I was getting 76 points. And Ketel Marte. Now, as we skip a few guys in their top scores, we finally get to our top pitcher, okay? And you know the guys we have. We have some really, really talented pitchers. Dean Kramer got me 54 points. I used 12 starts, and I had, I think, one guy, maybe two, that had a doubleheader or a two-start week. Yeah, Dean Kramer, you got me 54. That's good. Now let's go to the other side. Guys who didn't do well for me. Nick Pivetta, buddy. Pivy, Pivetta, Nicky boy, got me 7. It could have been worse. It absolutely could have, but still, 7. I expected more from you. And again, for the second week in a row, Bryce Elder had a cupcake matchup. Last week, you had the Rockies, and you got rocked. This week, you have the Marlins, and you didn't do well. You got me 5 points. It could have been worse, yes, but you struck out 12 Giants, like 3 games ago. The Giants. Great, it was before Rafael Devers, but bro. And as if that weren't bad enough, we had 3 guys get us negative points. 2 of them were starting pitchers. Emerson Hancock. And that was the time you inserted a dirty joke using Emerson Hancock's last name. Because, you know, it has a body part in it. But I don't want to get in trouble, so you can go ahead and make that joke. I'll give you a second. Back to my negative pitchers. Then we also had Chase Petty. He has -2. He was supposed to be a bulk reliever behind Brent Sutter, but he didn't come in until like 10th inning, 11th inning maybe, with a ghost runner on. So proceeded to give up a hit, then gave up the lead. So he got a loss. So he got me -2. But the worst was Jameson Taillon. My boy, you did not have a good day. Was it Brewers? Brewers or Twins? One of the two. But yeah, he got -3. Come on, dog. The names that we just touched on and the people that did well or not so well for us help us go right into the adds and drops, because we did add Dean Kramer, who was our highest scoring pitcher this week. Also Chase Petty, negative points. Bryce Elder only got me 5 points. Michael McGreevy, who did very well for us and the St. Louis Cardinals. And Alan Winans. This is coming out after Monday, so we all know that Alan Winans had a disaster of a game against the Reds. And so you and I share disappointment in the fact that he was obviously supposed to do much better than 4 earned runs and 4 2/3 of an inning with 1 strikeout. You were built up as this AAA phenom who's going to come up against I'm not going to say bad team, but also not a great team. It's not the Dodgers. And I mean, you were pretty much pegged to do very well. 4 2/3 of an inning, 4 earned runs, and 1 strikeout. Again, reiterating that terrible stat line. Oh, On the other side, the drops did include Tiger Gibson Long, Taijuan Walker, Michael McGreevy, Greg Spire, and Bryce Elder, who will never, ever be on my team ever again. This win brings us to 11-2 on the season. We're still number one, or at least tied for number one in the league, and we just have to keep winning. Just keep on keeping on, ladies and gentlemen. Next, we move to the South Harmon Institute of Technology. This week, I was playing one of the lesser teams, which usually does not work out well for me, but I utilized this opportunity to build some points and jump back into number one in my division, but I'm still overall third in record. I will absolutely take it, though. The win was 13 categories to 3 categories to 2 categories, which brought us to an overall 109 wins, 82 losses, and 43 ties. Our top performer was Eugenio Suarez, Big Poppy Reincarnation number 2. He had 25 total bases, 4 home runs, and 10 RBIs. What's up, big man? CJ Abrams had 15 total bases. He had 1 home run. He had 6 walks and 4 stolen bases. Then we had at least 1 home run from Bryce Terang. Also, Mr. Nolan Arenado, who had 2 home runs, and Matt Olson, who had 1 home run. All of them also had at least 11 total bases, so it was like 11 to 13 total bases. Then there were 2 guys who didn't quite reach the double-digit total base mark, but still had a home run, Salvador Perez and Francisco Lindor. Pitching-wise, we had a gem from Christopher Sanchez, 8 innings, 9 strikeouts, my man. And we had 0 blown saves, which was huge for us, because the person we were playing only had 1 blown save. So with my luck, we were going to do poorly, but we didn't. Although we did not have blown saves, we almost had some as we move on to the other side. The guys that didn't do as well for us, from Brian Brayu and Abner Uribe. They definitely got close, but not quite blown. So we also had some guys that were very cold to the plate. Salvador Perez, despite the home run. Francisco Lindor, he did hurt his toe, and he also then did hit a home run for us. So that was good. Also, Taylor Ward and Freddie Freeman. Freddie Freeman is hurt, but he's playing through it. But he went like 1 for 21 or like some number, something like that. I don't know. I probably had that wrong. But he was batting only 111. That's what I was saying. He's only batting 111 this week, so that's not great. Also, we missed Sal Frelick's production. So we missed some runs, I think we missed like 4 runs and like 6 RBIs. We didn't need them, but still, that stinks. Had we lost by that much, I'd have bit myself and kicked myself in the butt for not having Freaklick in the lineup. As we move to the adds and drops, we picked up Matt Liberatore and Gavin Sheets. We dropped Matt Liberatore and Noah Cameron. So, overall, again, 109, 82, and 43 on the year. Definitely in good shape, but there's a lot of time for us to screw this up, so cannot be complacent. Now we're going to move to the Russell My Jim Jams team, which this week was a good week for us, but oh man, I just cannot have anything nice. We were leading at one point in time, like 11-2 or something like that, so we had a huge lead. We ended up still winning 9 categories to 5 categories to 2 categories. That did bring our overall record up to where we are in 4th place now. So that's great. With a record of 94 wins, 79 losses, and 35 ties, we're definitely in good shape. But like we said with South Harmon Institute of Technology, there's still a lot of time for the Russell My Jim Jams team to absolutely screw it up, fall back in the cellar, and completely miss the playoffs. Now, I don't mean to be so pessimistic, but that's just it. There are a lot of Sundays left until the end of the season, and I completely collapse on Sundays. But there are a few guys who did not allow me to completely collapse this week. One of them was Nick Castellanos. He had 5 extra base hits. He did only have 1 home run, but 5 extra base hits was great for us. Along with 5 RBIs from Nick Castellanos, Yandy Diaz did hit 2 home runs and have 3 RBIs for us, but Hunter Goodman decided to outperform everyone. He had 3 home runs and 8 RBIs. Holy cow, Hunter Goodman for the Rockies is great. He has outfield eligibility and catcher eligibility. We're going to touch on CJ Abrams again because he had 2 home runs, 3 extra base hits, 6 walks, and 4 stolen bases. And again, we had a gem from Christopher Sanchez, 8 innings, 9 strikeouts, and the win. Sticking with the pitching, but moving on to the other guys that didn't do as well for us. Overall, we had not so exciting starts and some pretty disappointing outings in relief. That eventually did lead us to losing on Sunday ERA and WHIP. However, the other guy did have Jesus Luzardo going, so he pitched pretty well. But man, it was still pretty close that we lost. So shoulda, coulda, woulda. It's all good. We also had some guys who were cold at the plate. Taylor Ward, Wilson Contreras, and Nate Lowe. And of course, I missed Nate Lowe's home run games. Yeah, so I think I missed like 3 home runs from him this week. Cool. As we move to the adds and drops, we're going to talk about some of the guys that did not do as well for us pitching wise. Brandon Walters, who gave up, 6 or 7 earned runs to the Angels. Dude, Sean Noel and Neto, they're great, but come on, at least let someone named Trout hurt you. Whatever. We also dropped Ben Casparius, but we picked up Justin Verlander. He's going to be pitching Tuesday, so tomorrow, if we're talking right now. Today, if you're watching this tomorrow on Tuesday, he's going to be pitching. Should be a decent game. Pretty sure he's got the Marlins. Yeah. He's got the Marlins, and Ryan Nelson, who plays for the Diamondbacks, so not even really part of this part, but he plays against the White Sox, so those are the guys I definitely think you should pick up. Instead of using this time, as we talked about guys that you should add, to move to the segment that's usually at the end of the episode, we're not going to do that. We're going to transition to the Funky Junky Joker Monkeys. Now, we built ourselves a little bit of a deficit here too, but we were able to, despite some subpar pitching, absolutely lean on some of our big guys. We did come out with a win. Now, when I tell you the score, you're going to be like, how was that even close? Believe me, it was close. 509 to 405. Dude, you won by 100 points. How was that close? Just take my word for it. It was closer than I wanted it to be. And I was a little scared. But, again, Mr. Ronald Acuna had 51 points for us. So, then Nick Pivetta got 37 points. He had a 2-start week. Didn't do great in the first half. Second half, did pretty well. Then we have a pair of Astros, Jose Altuve and Jeremy Pena. Both get me 31 and 30 points each. Pretty happy with that. Then we had 8 guys get 20 points each, or 20 points or more. So very happy with that. Moving to the other side, about the guys who didn't do as well for me. Pitching, Brian Wu got us 6 points. Jacob Flaherty got us 4 points. Bailey Ober, you got us -1. As we transition to the adds and drops, we're going to talk about some of the guys that helped us get this win, which did include Mr. J.P. Sears, Erick Fedde, and Kumar Rocker. Not you, Chase Petty. But we also then added Mr. Ryan Nelson. And looking forward to this upcoming week, once we knew we had the win in the bag for week 13, looking forward to week 14, Ryan Nelson, you have a great matchup with the White Sox. Don't screw it up, because we're not picking up Bryce Elder. For those guys, we dropped Kumar Rocker, Chase Petty, Connor Norby. That one hurt. My boy, I traded for him, and oh man, that stinks. But we ended up having to drop him because he's not performing for us. As we talk about guys who aren't performing for us, we have to talk about Ezequiel Tovar, who was on our drop list, along with Erick Fedde. Erick Fedde, you did your job. You did what you were supposed to do, but Tovar, I haven't been doing it. So again, with a record of 10-3, pretty happy, but cannot be complacent. We are, I think, still tied in a 3-way tie for our division. So technically, like between 2nd and 5th overall. There's still that one guy who's leading. He hasn't lost but once. And I feel silly for not taking a trade he offered me earlier. Neto for Bailey Ober. Maybe Bailey Ober will turn it around. Maybe. Talking about turning around, as we move to the Cheese Weasels, we absolutely need to turn around because we are going in the wrong direction. We are 7th with 86.5 points, so we just keep dropping. And this week, I don't know why. I think it was just a lack of production. Even though we talk about Hunter Goodman, who had 8 RBIs and 3 home runs. We have to talk about my boy Trey Turner, who had 2 home runs and 2, 3, 4, I don't know how many RBIs. But we talk about those 2 guys, and they're getting us the home runs, they're getting us the RBIs, they're getting us the hits. Sticking on the topic of home runs, Nolan Arenado got me 2, Teoscar Hernandez got me 1, Roman Anthony got me 1, Lawrence Butler got me 1. The boys are doing well. The boys are doing very well. However, as we move to the guys that did not do well for us, Brantley Finnegan, 2 blown saves. We're already leading blown saves, so it's not like we get much worse, but come on, man. And then just overall pitching, I didn't start a few guys like Spencer Strider. Definitely should have. Oh, gosh. But, again, sticking with the holds and the saves. Trying to get that low. But, of course, tonight we added Alan Winans, and he didn't do well for us. Speaking of the adds and drops, we're not touching on Alan Winans because we added him this week. So, today, Monday. Last week, though, we added Alec Bohm, my boy. This is, I think, 3 leagues I have him in. Very happy with his production. He's hitting almost 300. knocking on wood, because again, I don't want to screw him up and watch him go down to 240 or something. People, it's your fault. I know, because I like him and I have him on my team, and I screw everything up. Jeez. In order to pick up Alabama, we dropped Brandon Walters, who gave up 7 earned runs against the Angels. You certainly did not help my ERA or my WHIP. And you gave me another loss. And as we talk about losses, unfortunately, we have to then go ahead and talk about my last team, the Kent Murphy Dingers. This week, with this specific team, is why I can't have nice things. This is why I shouldn't try to get cute. This is why, just start my studs. Start the guys who are supposed to do well, and don't try to bring in this random guy here. Don't try to get cute with a save opportunity. Just go with what works. I didn't do that this week, and I lost 4 categories to 5 categories. Now you're like, oh, that was still close. Let me show you how close it was. Do you see this? That's my WHIP. I'm the loser. 1.11 to 1.10. That's how close it was. JK, what happened? What made you lose? Jack Leiter made me lose. He had a 2-start week. And he crapped the bed twice. You're going against the Pirates on Sunday. The Pirates. You were great through 3 innings. And then what happened? You hit the 4th and you're like, wait a minute. I'm doing too well. Then I added Ben Kasparius and put him into the game thinking he can help me. Yeah, Ben Kasparius. He can help me. Proceeded to give up runs and hits and walks. He did get the win, though, which I was already losing wins and wasn't close, so. Yeah, Ben Kasparius. So, yeah. What else didn't help? Shelby Miller. You didn't do well. You gave up a few hits and a walk, and then you blew a save. Robert Garcia. You gave up a hit or a walk or something. So you had a 1 WHIP. That's how close it was. That's how close. But who did not start? I didn't start Seth Lugo, who had a .42 WHIP instead of a 1.5 WHIP, something like that. Yeah. So that was Kasparius. I believe Leiter had a 1.75. So yeah. Just start your studs. Not try to get cute. Do not. Let's continue to focus on the negative and silly reasons why we lost by literally a hair in my chinny chin. Let's talk about the positive. We had at least 1 home run from Larry Butler and Jacob Smith and Bryce Turang and Wilson Contreras and Matt Olson. Matt Olson gave me 6 RBIs, and my boy Wilson Contreras gave me 5 RBIs. So that was great. Then Jose Altuve had 2, and I think he had 4 RBIs. And then Riley Green had 3 home runs and 10 RBIs. Woo-hoo, my boy. Riley Green finally coming to life. And last but not least, definitely don't want to leave out my boy's contribution, Alec Bohm. He had 5 RBIs. Speaking of leaving stuff out and not getting the contribution, we absolutely missed out on these 3 guys' contributions, which absolutely would have won us this week because we tied in home runs. Thanks, Salvador Perez, with a random home run. The only production you had the entire week. Thanks, dude. We also lost in stolen bases. We lost 4 stolen bases to 3 stolen bases. And had we played Christian Yelich, who gave us a home run and a stolen base in the same game, we would have won. Or had we started Zach Neto, even though he wasn't scheduled to play, so we didn't play him, we played Jacob Wilson. And who would have thought he would have gone like 0 for 3? I wouldn't have thought that. But in any case, he did. So we missed a home run by Zach Neto. Continue to move on stuff that we missed out on, but not because we didn't start them, but because they failed to show up. Jack Leiter, Carlos Rodon, and Nick Pivetta all had subpar outings. Okay, Carlos Rodon was the only one that had a subpar outing. Nick Pivetta had a bad start in the beginning of the week. And Jack Leiter had 2 bad starts. Literally 1 less hit or 1 less walk. Come on. We also had bad relief appearances from Ben Kasparius, who was a bulk reliever, Shelby Miller, who blew a save, and Daniel Palencia. Again, guys, like 1 less hit, 1 less walk, we win this week. But whatever. As we move to the ads of this week, we did add Bankus Perez, Michael McGreevy, Robert Garcia, Jack Leiter, and Reese Olson. Reese Olson will be coming off the IL here soon. And on the other side, we dropped Michael McGreevy, Robert Garcia, and Yuri Perez. Now, hear me out. Yuri Perez has the Diamondbacks coming up. Don't trust him against the Diamondbacks. So maybe I'll continue to wait a few more starts. He did improve a little bit. His whip was only 1.29 this past week, so that's cool against a hot Braves team, but still, there's not a whole lot of relief in that division, so I don't know. So at the end of the day, this unfortunate silly loss, which was solely me trying to be cute and trying to be cautious, so just start my studs, did bring us to 7 wins, 3 losses, and 2 ties. Now this sounds good, but we are still only 2 games ahead in our division. We are still second overall in the league, but again, people are nipping at our heels. This is no time to get complacent. There's no time to think, oh, okay, yeah, we've won 7 games. No, let's be true to ourselves. Look on the waiver wire. Pick up who we think is good, who's having a good week. Let's forecast as much as we can. Don't ever pick up Jack Leiter or Bryce Elder again. Very simple. That's all we have to do. And now as we transition from talking about the Kent Murphy Dinger scouring the waiver wire to pick up the guys that are best going to help them win, we're going to go to J-Cake suggestions on who I think you should add in your leagues. Now, I don't know if you want to keep listening to me after the number 1 guy was going to be Alan Winans. Yeah, 4 2/3 of an inning, 4 earned runs, 1 strikeout. Supposed to be this phenom with these amazing numbers at AAA. Yeah, that guy didn't show up. But tomorrow, you might want to look at Justin Verlander. He's a pretty good matchup against, I believe it's the Marlins. But also Ryan Nelson, who has a pretty good matchup with the White Sox. But you also might want to be able to look and say, hey, I need saves. I need holds. Who should I look at? Dylan Lee for the Bravos. Picked up a save tonight. And while, yes, Raisel Iglesias might be looking like, oh, okay, I got this. Yeah, I'm still the man. Yeah, let's go back and just look at what he did when he was in Cincy. I don't trust him. I mean, you might be able to have him if that's the only save guy in your league, only one on your team. Maybe you're putting on saves. So be it. But if you have a blown saves category, if you have a whip category, he ain't going to help it. Dylan Lee might be the next best guy for you to be looking at. Now, again, if you're in a holds league, that's definitely going to be it. But again, the Braves might be shoppers at the waiver wire, so I don't know. Now we're going to move from pitchers to position players. And really, there's only one position I want to look at right this second. That's going to be catcher. Might be thinking, who do I want to pick up a catcher? If it's not Cal Raleigh, who do I want? Pedro Pejas. And I might be thinking, isn't Wilson Contreras going to catch? He might catch here and there. Don't know if he's going to catch enough to keep eligibility going next year, but that's something I'll worry about next year. Herrera, who was a revelation as a catcher, hitting 300 and above for actually all season long. He got hurt, came back, maintained the 300 batting average, got hurt again. He's going to be out 4 to 6 weeks. His backup got hurt, so now it's Pedro Pejas. Now, Pedro Pejas was hitting 300. He's fallen down to about 220 right now, but that's because he was getting constant playing time. So, Pejas is going to be a guy I think you should be able to look at in an offense that, while not sexy, is producing. You got Mr. Arenado. You got Brendan Donovan. Mason Wynn, you're there, buddy. But also, Alec Burleson. What's gotten into you? I don't know, but you're doing some big stuff. Lars Nootbaar. Can we walk some more, dude? I feel like I've dropped you in like 2 of my leagues, and you're like the walk machine. But again, some of those guys, Pedro Pejas, can at least get around with some RBIs, or can at least have some protection. So now he's getting the best pitches instead of Arenado, because they don't want him to do the damage. So that could be someone to look at. The last guy I'm going to tell you to talk about is another position player, and again has not performed well, but depending on the league you're in, depending on the needs, he could be a game changer. Ryan McMahon. Ryan McMahon, he's hitting like 220. Why do I want him? Because he's got more than 40 walks. Granted, he has almost 100 strikeouts, if not already more than that. But he's got 40 plus walks. If you're in an OPS or just a walks category league, McMahon is absolutely someone you can not plug and play. Definitely not plug and play. Hitting 220. He's got double-digit home runs, and he's got about 30 RBIs. But Hunter Goodman, definitely the number one option in Colorado. But again, he could be someone on an off day or when someone is out. When it's, a situation where you're like, oh crap, like I need a walk, or I need to get my OPS up. Yeah, it could be someone to look at. Ryan McMahon. Think about it. Now, that's going to do it for the recap and the people I think you should add. I don't know. Rick McMahon was kind of a last minute addition. I was thinking about it. I was like, hey, man, OPS, walks, that's a thing. So, hey, keep an open mind. Okay, keep an open mind. But I hope these guys help. I hope that if you did pick up Alan Winans, you're not as disappointed as I am. But you probably are. You're probably more disappointed than I am because he's still a Yankee and I have confidence. But, yeah, definitely hurt my fantasy teams. But in any case, here's to a great week 14 or whatever week you're on in your fantasy league. This is JK. I want to thank you for sharing part of your day with me.